Hi, I'm Jess. I teach Pilates for runners, and I have put together a short video on some exercises that runners can do to help strengthen the knees. So if you ever suffer with niggly knees, or you are new to running or an old runner and you just want to strengthen those knees to help support you with your running, then try some of these exercises as part of your warm-up or your cool down, or just at some other time in the week that fits with your weekly workout sessions. So all I'll say is make sure that you don't do work into any pain, and keep comfortable when you're doing them, and see how you get on. Okay. So the first exercise we're going to do is our foot series, which is a great warm-up exercise. We're going to come back here. So with our foot series, we make sure we're lengthened up nice and tall, shoulders are nice and wide. We're going to come up onto our toes, come into a squat and lower those heels down. Okay, coming up onto the toes. Squat, lower those heels down. Coming up, squat, lower, down. Up, squat, lower, down. So this is a really good one, because not only are we doing squats, we're also doing calf raises, all key exercises to really warm up those muscles before a run. So this is a really good one to help strengthen the key muscles that we need as runners. So coming up, down, lower those heels. We're getting a lot of mobility into our joints as well, all those key joints, hips, knees and ankles. So a couple more of these. And then we're going to come into single leg squats. So if you don't do single leg squats, they're a great one to do in front of the mirror, keeping that pelvis nice and level. You're going to bring one leg up. Make sure you've got a soft bend in that leg that you're going to squat. And when you squat, you sit back like you're sitting on a chair, and then come back up. Keep that pelvis nice and level, hands on those hips. Try and just make sure that that knee is tracking really well and it's not coming in or out as you come down into that squat. Okay, if you find that difficult, you can lower that foot down just to rest it on the floor. So don't take the weight onto it, but use it just to rest, to make sure that you got a bit more control there by taking some of the load away from the knee that you're trying to squat. So like I said, do this in front of the mirror. Make sure you're squatting back. So you're sitting back in your squat, so that knee doesn't come forwards over the foot. We want to send the bottom back. Okay, so you want to do that on both sides. That's a really good exercise to be able to strengthen the knee muscles, encourage good tracking around that knee joint. Another one is lunges. So lunges, we come into a nice tall position and we send our body down. So you notice the back heel is up on the back foot. And what we do is we drop down, both knees bend, and you come back up. Too often people come forwards with a lunge, and that's not what we want to do. We want to send so your body straight down towards the floor. And as you come up, I want you to squeeze on that bottom as you come up. So the real glute exercise. You're opening the front hip there of that back leg, and you're working into those quads at the front as well. You're getting a real burn, hopefully, a good burn on the front of that thigh. So you want to do that on each leg as well. So really squeeze on that bottom as you come up. Excellent. Another exercise you can do is coming down onto the mat now, and it's called donkey kick. So we're going to do that in 4-point kneeling. So you're going to be here, making sure that you are lifted. I don't want you dropping. We want to keep nice and lifted. Abdominals are engaged. And what we're going to do is we're going to take one leg up behind us and then drawing it back in. So this exercise, we're really working into our back glutes here. So our glutes, if you don't know what they are your buttocks. We're really working into those buttocks and not the lower back. It's very easy for people to be going too far and dropping that lower back and really, working into the lower back. So anyone with lower back pain, please be very careful when you do this one. And another thing to look out for is that you keep that weight evenly distributed and you're keeping nice and centered down the midline of your body. So just check that you're not swaying over to one side as you're doing this. And you've got your weight even on both sides of your body. You're going to take it out now, so you can do your hip twist. So we're going to take our leg out, keep that same shape of the leg as you draw it out, and in. Again, try and keep that pelvis nice and level. So imagine as if you've got a bucket of water here on resting on that pelvis. So you would do both those exercises, taking it up and in, taking it out and in. So they are really good ones for developing and strengthening the muscles around the hip, all those supporting muscles that travel and track down towards the knee. Another one you can do to help with your sort of strengthening of your posture, a full body exercise called swimming, level 4. So we come onto 4-point kneeling, again, keeping centered, nice and even through the body. You're going to take one arm out, opposite leg out, and you're going to extend them up. Don't drop and don't go into that lower back. You're going to keep nice and lengthened, drawing them back in. Opposite now, you take them out. So we're alternating and in. This one as well, we want to think about a bucket of water on that lower back. So really slow and steady. I know as runners, you might like sometimes to be quite fast. With these types of exercises, it's all about control, keeping steady, to keep precision, and make sure that you're really encouraging the development of all the little small muscles as well as the larger global muscles that we need to help stabilize us and support our knees especially. So make sure you're keeping centered here. So this is a lovely exercise to do. And just make sure you're keeping that pelvis nice and level. Excellent. So another one you can do on your back, shoulder bridge. Very common exercise. You're probably very familiar with this one. If you've not done Pilates before, you would have seen this. You're going to have your feet a little bit closer towards your bottom, legs hip width apart, arms nice and long by your side, shoulders wide. And you're just going to rock that pelvis back and forth, keeping centered as well, thinking about your body and your good posture here. But we're going to take that up into a big wave. So you're going to roll through each of the vertebrae, coming up, bringing those hips open and up towards the ceiling so that you've got a lovely ski slope shape here. Really open up and then gently coming back down, working through the spine nice and slow and back down onto the mat. Breath in, breathing out, we roll back up, coming up, squeeze on the bottom. This exercise is all about your glutes and your hamstrings here. So the back line here of your body is really working to hold you up there. And come back down. So again, it's about control, it's about mobilizing the spine and about strengthening those posterior, those back muscles there. Posterior muscles behind the back line of our body. We're opening the front of the hips, lengthening those quads, getting a lovely stretch down the front of our quads there. And you can feel those muscles attaching around those knees. You really feel that as you come up, you're sending those knees away, but you can feel the muscles around the knees also really working hard here. This is a lovely one to do. You want to think about opening the creases of the leggings as you come up into your shoulder bridge here, taking the weight into your shoulders, not into your throat. So you should be able to talk very comfortably. And lower back down. So if you want an extra challenge with your shoulder bridge, as you come up, if you can keep level, it adds an extra challenge, strength work, to extend one leg, keeping those thighs nicely in line and folding it back in. And you can alternate legs here, and you want to get nice flow and that pelvis not drop. So you want to keep that pelvis nice and level as you do this. So that's a really good way to help build up the strength of those muscles that we're looking to strengthen behind us. Okay, so some exercises you can do in side lying. We lengthen out nice and long. We're going to do our clam. So you bring your legs up into your sort of 45 degrees here. But when we're in this position, we always make sure we're not sort of collapsing here in the upper part of our body. We want to draw that top shoulder away, and to lift that waist away from the mat, we just draw that top hip away. And that means that we're actually in a nice sort of good posture of our spine here, all the way down the spine, as if we are standing. Whereas if we're allowing that waist to drop, we've not got that curve. We've got a curve rather than a nice straight spine. So we want to bring us into a nice lengthened position. And we're going to gently float open that top leg and draw it back down, keeping those hips nice and stable as you do it, keeping centered. So again, that means deepening those lower abdominals now to make sure you've got your abdominals engaged. And they're always working during these exercises. So if you're not feeling it in your back pocket area, I want you to just stop and gently roll those hips forward a little bit more and open up, but keep those hips nice and steady, as if they're sort of pivoting on a pole here. You've got a pole going through those hips, and you're just gently raising that leg up and down. So we're really working into our glutes that help open the hip here. So the more we can add flexibility to our key joints, the more we're going to be able to support our structure when we're running and prevent risk of injuries. Okay, so there are clowns. What I'd like you to do now is lengthen the top leg nice and long. We're going to come into our lift and lower. So we lift up, we lower back down. Breathing in and out. So this one, again, we want to keep that waist lifted away from the mat. So what I want you to think about is obviously keeping the upper part of your body nice and still. So even though the movement's coming from the hip, it's not coming up and interfering with your nice position of your waist here. It's very easy for that waist to come into the movement. We want to avoid that from happening. So if you want to work more of your inner and outer thigh muscles, what you can do is you can bring your leg forwards and you can do the lift and lower where you're tapping the heel of your foot down towards the floor. And then you can rotate your foot the other way where it's the toe. Keeping that leg nice and long, but you're basically turning your hip joint here. You're rotating that leg inwards now. And with the heel, you're rotating it outwards. And that just encourages us to really strengthen the muscles around the outer and inner parts of our thigh. Excellent. Okay, another exercise you can do in side lying, the last one, is some inner and outer thigh work, so our leg lifts. So again, like keeping that lovely long length, make sure you're nice and centered here with your abdominals, because we're going to come into some balance work. Top shoulders drawn away, you're going to raise one leg up, second leg to meet it, and lower back down. Top leg, bottom leg, hold, and lower. Top leg, bottom leg, hold, and lower. Top, bottom, hold, and lower. Other variations you can do to this, you could do top, bottom, bottom comes up and down. So you can raise that and work that bottom leg up and down here. Another one you could do is you could do a lift and lower of each leg here. So you can stay holding and just working, but keeping well balanced here, but you're really working those thigh muscles. You can feel them burning, can't you? So there's some really good exercises that you can do to strengthen all of the key muscles around your legs there. Obviously, when you're doing side lying exercises like that, you would then turn over and you'll do them again on the opposite side. So we want to correct any sort of imbalances that you might have in your body. So if you find that you've got a particular weakness in one area where it's much harder on one side to do it than it is on the other side, then this is your opportunity to obviously do a few extra on that side of the body to help kind of bring your body into good balance, and that will translate into your runs as well. So if you could try and create as much evenness and balance in your body and the muscle groups in your body, then obviously that will help prevent some of the injuries that can happen that cascade down towards the knees and sometimes lead to knee pain. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Obviously, you can build them into any of your exercise routines throughout the week, whether it's your runs or some other exercise that you do. Just make sure that you're warmed up beforehand and just don't work into any pain and enjoy yourselves.